Are there any learning communities that really make a difference to the traditional mindset of schooling? Communities that do not wrap the old thing into fancy new clothes, but invent something different and something totally new. Some days ago I discovered such a community in Barcelona that really makes a difference, that makes a difference. So take a look at that.
If you look at the wall, all the words that are on the wall in the hallway, the happiness, empowerment, community, those are all words that came from them when we said, what do you think of when you think of BLIC? I mean, there's just one, or I mean, there's multiple core differences that are pretty important.
Tell me.
I think personal relationships being at the core of what we do is extremely important.
But we have a better student-teacher relationship. Here we would call it learner-learning guy relationship. They care. That's the main difference.
Okay.
They come here because that's what they want to do and because they love children.
To think about the learners as individuals and not using a batch production model where they all go in at the same time and they're all supposed to learn the same thing on the same day, and whether or not they learned it, they still have to advance on, right? We don't do it like that at all.
What's your name?
Devin.
You are Devin. And originally you come from?
San Francisco.
Well, I've been talking to the founding team for the last 3 years about children with learning differences and the fact that there's so much talent there, and that it's talent that often goes undetected and actually punished in a traditional system. And that resonated because that's exactly what they were trying to do, create a paradigm where young learners were not punished but rather celebrated for these kind of differences and these kinds of things that traditionally have been problems, turn them into actually gifts. I'm Sam Lardner, and I'm the director of BLIC in Barcelona.
Here is not just learn these facts because this will be on your next test. These are the kind of facts that you want to maybe explore to learn because they're connected to something you're personally interested in.
Da lernst du es irgendwie mehr, weil es interessiert dir. Ich zum Beispiel, ich lerne vor allem, wenn mir irgendwas interessiert. Aber wenn mir irgendwas nicht interessiert, dann nicht so.
So if you're not interested in that, well then there's no point to try to force feed information to the learners, because as we all know, that doesn't mean you learn anything. It just means you memorize it maybe for a short while until you forget again.
What's your name?
Maria Galanopoulos.
I discovered that I can do the things I love all day, every day. Well, I've been dancing for for my whole life now. So I found out that I could do this, and I could create it. I could transform it into my own project, and also learn while I'm dancing.
BLIC is kind of a space where you can learn how to teach yourself and improve in all the qualities that you want to improve on.
It's kind of like, I feel like it's a place to come to figure out what you want to do, and then it's like you come and you go through stages where you kind of start to get ready to explore more and then like go and do your own thing. So like me, supposing like I want to go to college soon to like, so I can do courses in like fashion and different things that they don't always like provide here. So I want to get like the real like A level for like that, so that I can like move on as well.
In the back of our mind is always, how are we moving from a control to an empowerment paradigm? So how do we empower learners? So rather than thinking about needing to control what they're learning, how they're behaving, what they're going to be doing with their lives, it's how do we empower them to take responsibility and agency over that themselves.
But I also believe that there's some very, that you have to have a specific mindset when you're coming into BLIC. You are not to be shy of finding things about yourself that you didn't know. For example, I don't know, I thought I was going to be a coder, but now I'm like, ooh, engineering sounds very fun. I might give that a try. I would have never expected that. And normal school wasn't nurturing that.
Ich glaube, diese Lernerfahrung halt einfach neu zu erfahren, verbunden mit dem, was eigentlich die Kinder automotiviert, das zeigt eigentlich dahin, wo, sag ich mal, das neue Lernen hingeht.
Well, the main challenge for us and for them is what we call sort of unschooling, and to get them out of that position of being taught down to and putting them in charge, getting them to take charge and ownership of their learning path. It's a very different feeling of empowerment, and sometimes it takes 2 weeks and sometimes it takes 2 years, to be totally honest.
Die größte Herausforderung ist, dass fast 100% der Jugendlichen aus dem traditionellen System kommen. Das traditionelle System ist letztendlich ein standardisiertes System, was ein Kontrollparadigma in sich trägt. Und auf einmal in eine Welt zu kommen, wo du dein persönliches Lernen selber kreieren kannst, plötzlich selber derjenige bist, der in der Selbstverantwortung bist, dem ermöglicht wird, all die Dinge zu machen, die du dir vorstellen kannst. Ich glaube, das ist ein Schock, ein sehr positiver Schock.
Okay.
Ja.
So it's that switch in responsibility of going from being passive to an active learner.
Yeah, there's lots of things you need to unlearn to be able to engage in learning again. I think a lot of our kids come with traumas from their educational background that we have to help them work through so that they don't see, I think they think about learning in really perverse terms, that learning is bad and negative for them, which, I mean, when you learn something new, dopamine's released in the brain, which makes you happy. But yet they have this negative relationship with learning where they have already provoked a fight or flight reaction often when they're proposed with learning, because it might come with criticism, it might come with force, it might come with whatever. And so having them, we have to unschool them so that they can begin to really feel like they're actors and not spectators in their own education.
So yeah, you have to be willing to learn things about yourself if you're coming to something like this.
Du kannst mir entscheiden, ja. So mehr so, ich mag das oder ich neige mich das, oder ich mag das nicht, warum ich das nicht mag, oder dass du mehr entscheiden kannst, so mehr. Weil früher war ich immer, der Professor sagt einfach dann nur, ich sage das da und das wird gemacht.
A sense of culture and belonging, and also a sense of empowerment to actually engage in topics that interest them.
Okay.
And to play balloons during lunchtime, obviously.
We do have much more freedom here. We have freedom to first state our opinion without the fear of being told that is not right, that is wrong. Also, we have the freedom to choose what we want to do, which is great. And another freedom we have is actually making the schedule for ourselves. That is also a freedom, because in a normal school it would be 8:50, 6:15.
What's your name?
My name is Mila.
Mila.
Yeah.
And you come from?
I come from the capital of Bulgaria, Sofia.
Was die Kinder uns sagen, ist, dass sie manchmal das Gefühl haben, dass einfach eine große Distanz entstanden ist zwischen was sie erfahren normalerweise in Schulen mit Erwachsenen. Und wenn man eigentlich nur diese Beziehung, diese positive Beziehung wiederherstellt in diesen Lernumfeldern, was man damit schon erreichen kann. Ja? Also es ist gar nicht so eine riesig magische Thematik, sondern es geht wirklich darum, und es liegt eigentlich daran, den Lehrer oder den Lernbegleiter, Mentoren, wie auch immer wir sie, sag ich mal, nennen wollen, auch in der Zukunft, einfach wieder zu ermöglichen, ein Partner zu sein für die Kinder und nicht derjenige sein, der, wie gesagt, immer eigentlich ein negatives Bild abgibt.
The core difference really is being able, through technology, through knowledge, through science, to understand the needs of each learner and actually address those needs, actually leverage those needs and interests so that we can motivate them and get them on their own learning path with our support. It's very student-centered as opposed to teacher-centered. That's the biggest difference.
While we are under construction, students get the chance to be part of the design of the space and to understand how we use the space. And also for me as an architect, it's a learning process. So it's a win-win in terms of how the students use and feel the space and make the space somehow be part of their project also. It's not the architect project or the owner project. It's more, we are a community and all of us are creating this space all together. And for example, this is an example that we make with students. So we just said, okay, let's collect like the 3 words that's on your mind regarding our space. And so if you see the big one is community and friendship. So this is the words that the students feel that is this place for them. So then we put it here as part of our learning experience. I'm Sol, well, my name is Solange, and I'm the architect.
We're like regular people. We've all been to normal school. I wouldn't say we're like special because we come here. We come here because we want to like explore what we want to do more.
I mean, here we have students from all ranges, all abilities, all different kinds of places.
It's not a special type of human being here, it's just
there are a lot of
outside in the whole world.
Yeah, they're a whole eclectic group, culturally speaking, but also just kind of their background in education in general. And I mean, they all have different responses, but the main idea was the main school system wasn't working for me for various reasons.
Würdest du sagen, das ist eine gute Entscheidung, hierher gekommen zu sein für dich? On a scale from 1 to 10, was it a really good decision to come here? Is 10 or it was
It's a 10, yes. It was a 10. It is a 10.
Okay.